I've said it once and I'll say it again. What makes Bernie Sanders special is that he's not just running for president, he's running to build a movement. And how he's working to help the squad, that just shows it yet again. Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. As you guys know, on this channel, I've talked about this a lot. Bernie Sanders isn't just running for your vote. He's not just running to become president. He's running to, at the core, build a movement that will outlast his campaign and will outlast his presidency and frankly will outlast his natural life. He's building something that will transform American society for generations to come. At least that's his goal. That's why Bernie Sanders isn't just fundraising. He's not just asking for donations and sign-ups for pure electoral, mathematic data. He's not just doing it to win delegates and win electoral college votes down the line. He's putting his money where his mouth is. And he's putting his organizational force behind his ideals. This is why Bernie Sanders has used his massive financial and logistical resources to help striking workers and to help those targeted by ICE. It's a fundamentally important thing because Bernie is demonstrating that this just isn't about winning an election. To truly be a transformative president, you have to transform how politics is done. And so what that means is politics can no longer be about getting yourself elected at all costs and figuring the rest out later. It doesn't work like that if you want to make real change. And the latest example is just another big one. So as you guys likely know, Donald Trump has launched a racist attack on the squad. The 4 young progressive women, all of whom are racialized, 2 of whom are Muslim, who are the future of American politics and society, but to Trump, they are a very threat to his white Christian supremacist ideals and the ideals of many of his supporters and of media voices like Tucker Carlson and so many others. And so Donald Trump said to them, go back to where you came from, knowing that 3 of those 4 women are actually born in the United States. And Ilhan Omar, the only non-native born American amongst the 4, has actually been an American citizen longer than Donald Trump's wife. It's a sort of bitter irony in that sense that Donald Trump has really exposed the realities here of white supremacy. It's that even elected officials, even very powerful congresswomen, will not be fully accepted as real Americans by people like Trump because they are not white or because they are not Christian or both. Simple as that. And so many people have stood with these women, and that's great to see. Politicians from all over the Democratic Party have stood with them. The odd Republican here and there has come out, but shamefully, that party has been largely silent or has joined in with Trump on his attacks. But Bernie Sanders is doing something very special, I think. Bernie Sanders tweeted out that he stands with these women, and he's actually going to do it in a very material way. Bernie Sanders, through 2 quarters, is basically the highest fundraising candidate. And if he's not the highest under certain estimates, in effect, he's amongst the leaders in terms of total Democratic Party fundraising in this primary. And if you go to Bernie's website right now, you can make a donation as you always can. But he has a special option. You can decide to split your donation with any of the 4 squad members or all 4 of them. So you can go to the website and you can plop down $100, let's say, and you can put $20 to each person, 20 to Bernie and 20 to each member of the squad. And in so doing, you not only donate to Bernie, but you donate to 4 progressive women, the sorts of women who will be carrying the torch for Bernie as the movement goes forward, who may well one day run for Senate or run for president and may well one day be president. And Bernie Sanders and what he's made possible through his movement will be, at least in part, responsible for that. I've seen some centrist Democrats go on about how Bernie is actually using this moment cynically. He's trying to tap into the suffering these women have faced, and he's trying to fundraise off of it. But I don't buy that for a second. Bernie Sanders has stood with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on multiple occasions, and she stood with him. And I have no doubt that this is 100% sincere with Bernie. And frankly, many of the people who are going to Bernie Sanders' website, they're not going to donate to the squad. They're going to donate to Bernie. But Bernie has chosen, out of goodwill and out of solidarity with these women and with the causes they support, and in rejection of Trump and the Republicans' racism against them, he's decided to potentially give up 80% of a donation to be split between the 4 other women. That's incredible. So if you go to Bernie Sanders' website right now and you're an American citizen, you're eligible to donate. I'm not suggesting that you donate if you're a Canadian like a lot of my viewers are, but if you're eligible to donate and you go to that site, you can help Bernie Sanders and all 4 members of the squad. It's a beautiful thing. Don't let the centrist Democrats try to sully this moment. This is a fully sincere project by Bernie Sanders. I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to hit his fundraising totals. He's not going to raise more money off of this. The people who don't like Bernie Sanders, yet like all 4 of these women or any of these 4 women, they're not going to go to Bernie Sanders' site to donate. They're not going to do that. They would go to those women's websites and campaigns and donate. That's what they would do. Bernie Sanders is not going to get extra donations because of this. People aren't going to say give $50 to Bernie, but now because they see this split are going to give $300 and therefore Bernie would get, as a proportion, a greater amount of money. That's not going to happen. People might go to Bernie's website willing to donate $40 to Bernie Sanders and see this split and be really inspired, and maybe they'll give $60. But that still leaves Bernie Sanders with less money than if he would have just kept the donation as it was. And it would have left Ocasio-Cortez and Tlaib and Omar and Presley with no money. And while these women are effective campaigners, and I have no doubt in my mind they have the ability to fundraise in a grassroots way like Bernie Sanders, the reality is they don't have a national network like Bernie does. They don't have that infrastructure. So Bernie doing this is an act of real solidarity. And it's an act of Bernie Sanders doing what so many centrists say he won't do, which is support women of color. And he is doing that, and he's doing that in a real way here. He's doing that with his words, which is incredibly important, and he's doing that with his deeds, which is just as, if not more important. This is how a movement-building president operates. This is not how a traditional president operates. If Bernie was a traditional president, if he was a traditional presidential candidate, he would not use his network to help people fight ICE. He would not use his network to stand up for striking workers. He would not use his network to help 4 progressive women of color congressmen stand up to one of the most racist attacks I've seen on an elected official in America. This is absolutely a great thing for Bernie Sanders. There's no point of hand-wringing about Bernie doing this to skim off the milk from these 4 women. There's no way that's actually what's happening. This is unambiguously a good thing, and Bernie is a good man, and he's going to be a great candidate, and my God, he's going to be a great president. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by again. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you could support me on Patreon, that would be great as well. Doing any of those things helps to bring the message, to let people know that here on YouTube, there are people who cover both Canadian and American politics from a left perspective, from a democratic socialist perspective. And that if you want to see more content in that frame, then supporting me and sharing that content is a great place to start. So guys, have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.